Apple all but confirms a huge iPhone 18 connectivity update. Next year's iPhone 18 Pro was already speculated to feature a seemingly tiny update that might have an outsized impact. Apple employed its own C1X 5G modem only for the iPhone Air and kept depending on a Qualcomm modem for the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro. Now, the company has all but guaranteed that approach will alter with the iPhone 18. Apple's long-term strategy is to employ its own cellular modems in additional products, strongly implying that they'll be in the iPhone 18 and the iPhone 18 Pro. The comment came from Arun Mathias, VP of Wireless Software Technologies and Ecosystems at Apple, during an interview with CNBC. When asked about why the iPhone 17, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max don't have an Apple modem, Mathias stated that the firm was focused on what it needed for the iPhone Air. He stated that the other gadgets are also fantastic products, but the company will deploy its own cellular solutions in more devices. Here's his whole answer. Well, we were really focused on what we required for iPhone Air, and we have amazing products with iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro as well. And over time, we will see Apple's cellular solutions in more devices. Mathias' answer wasn't a surprise, considering the early speculations about the iPhone 18 Pro have previously suggested it'll feature Apple's 5G modem. That would give Apple considerably greater control over its phones, and it might lead to different improvements. Apple has previously employed its own C1 modem for the iPhone 16e, breaking from its reliance on Qualcomm's modems. Interestingly enough, Samsung provides the cellular modems for the Pixel 10 smartphones, although its own S25 relies on Qualcomm's modems. That could change with the S26 if Samsung genuinely decides to put the Exynos 2600 in it. Apple should feel delighted about splitting up with Qualcomm, but unless there's a technological leap or failure, most people won't notice any difference in connectivity. That doesn't imply the change is unimportant. It only means that I would be astonished if it provides any visible advantages for the typical iPhone user. The devices are apparently going to be equipped with a variable aperture camera, which allows you to control the amount of light entering the lens. The iPhone 18 camera speculation comes courtesy of the Korean publication ET News. The article states that Apple has completed its plans and would integrate the technology in next year's Pro and Pro Max models. Apple provides a trio of lenses on its Pro models, including a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto ones. ET News reports that the variable aperture will be introduced on the main wide camera. This isn't the first time that we've seen this rumor. In December of 2024, analyst Ming-Chi Kuo also projected that the iPhone 18 range would feature a variable aperture lens. Apple's flagship may recover the photography title with a pro-level camera update previously dropped by Samsung. The iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max are expected to receive big camera upgrades that may put them ahead of Samsung's S26 Ultra. According to current reports, while Samsung is changing its rear camera architecture for the S26 Ultra to support new sensors, Apple appears to be taking a major leap forward by implementing variable aperture technology on the iPhone 18 Pro models. This feature, although briefly employed on Samsung's Galaxy S9 and S10, was abandoned from the S20 forward due to high production costs. Now, Apple is ready to restore and upgrade it, potentially making it into the secret weapon of its 2026 flagship. In classic photography, the aperture determines how much light enters the sensor, altering brightness, depth of field, and background blur. With a variable aperture, users may modify the camera's light intake, replicating the manual controls of a professional DSLR. If Apple successfully applies this to the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, it would open up a vast range of creative possibilities. In low light settings, a larger aperture allows more light in, providing brighter, clearer photographs with less noise. In bright light or during daytime, decreasing the aperture boosts depth of field, ensuring both foreground and background are in sharp focus. Apple is also likely to include smart shooting modes that take full advantage of variable aperture, providing consumers straightforward tools to explore with artistic effects, from natural background blur to sharp landscape images. Meanwhile, Samsung's projected camera improvements on the S26 Ultra would reportedly entail a larger fixed aperture, an enhancement, but still not customizable. This gives Apple a big advantage. Customers can actively modify their pictures instead of being restricted by fixed sensor settings. From a technical sense, this is a big jump that might help the iPhone 18 Pro Max overtake its Korean counterpart in the one area Samsung has long dominated: camera performance. Experts say Apple's decision could pressure Samsung to reintroduce variable aperture in future models, possibly by 2027 with the Galaxy S28 Ultra. By then, however, Apple may already be ahead, combining improved optical controls with deeper AI-driven picture processing. The addition of variable aperture to the iPhone 18 Pro underscores Apple's intention to raise mobile photography to a new level after years of focusing exclusively on software enhancement. If the sources prove right, the iPhone 18 won't simply be a standard improvement, but a leap in how users capture photographs with a smartphone. In truth, the issue of variable aperture is not new to reports concerning the iPhone. In 2024, news circulated that this feature will be featured on the iPhone 17, but not materialized. TF Securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo also mentioned in November 2024 that the wide-angle camera on the iPhone 18 Pro will Apple equipped with a variable aperture. He then reiterated the prognosis the following month. 1. Benefits of variable aperture. Aperture factors can have a huge impact on photographic skills on cell phones. Smartphone cameras often employ fixed aperture, namely the hole between the lens and the sensor where the light enters. Changing the aperture size usually requires additional physical space for the mechanism and driving motor. With adjustable aperture, the camera can modify how much light the sensor gets. This impacts triangle exposure and photography balance between aperture, core speed, and sensor sensitivity to achieve the best photographs. Aperture modifications also affect the depth of field on photographs. The wider aperture provides an opaque, key background with a sharp main subject, whereas the narrower aperture makes more portions of the image look sharp and focused. Currently, Apple still relies on computational photography techniques to achieve a bokeh effect on portrait mode. However, with variable aperture, similar effects can be achieved naturally without software modification. In addition, this skill can also benefit the computer vision system, computer vision. By altering the aperture and depth of the field, the system can estimate the distance based on the object's brightness rate between two or more photos. With the deployment of variable aperture technology, the iPhone 18 Pro has the potential to deliver a major boost in photographic experience, presenting more realistic and professional pictures without the help of any software algorithms. If these sources are genuine, the iPhone 18 Pro may mark Apple's strongest Pro improvement in recent memory. Apple's iPhone 18 Pro lineup is still nearly a year away, but early leaks are already indicating what to expect from the company's 2026 flagship. According to various rumors from China-based insiders, the future models will include both visual tweaks and substantial hardware upgrades that set the stage for the brand's long-term iPhone strategy. The most talked about modification is the introduction of a smaller dynamic island. The feature, which replaced the notch on newer iPhones, will reportedly shrink significantly on the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max. Sources indicate this is part of Apple's steady push to create a genuinely edge-to-edge screen in future models. Under-screen Face ID, however, is unlikely to debut with the iPhone 18 series and may only emerge with the iPhone 19 Pro or later. The leak originated from the Weibo account Instant Digital, which has previously published correct facts regarding Apple's product plans. Instant Digital correctly anticipated the yellow color variation of the iPhone 14 series and the titanium Milanese loop for the Apple Watch Ultra 2. However, like with most leaks, not all forecasts have been accurate, so these assertions should still be considered warily. Another source, Digital Chat Station, believes the iPhone 18 Pro will continue the same camera configuration seen on the iPhone 17 Pro, with a triangular lens arrangement situated on a slightly higher plateau area. The leaker also said that the back ceramic shield could have a semi-transparent or frosted appearance, hinting at a revised design language. The iPhone 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max are expected to retain the same 6.3-inch and 6.9-inch display sizes, continuing Apple's current sizing trend. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.